KFC. I know many of you are intrigued by the title of the recipe. Curry KFC. Yeah, listen, there's a story behind this, but what I have here in my saucepan is 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil in my saucepan, and here we're going to create the sort of slurry or the curry. So we've got 2 tablespoons of curry, 4 cloves of garlic sliced up or really thin. You can crush it as well. My father worked construction. He worked with Kajima Corporation, which is a construction company out of Japan that was in Trinidad for a number of years. That is 1/4 of a medium onion that I sliced up, a tablespoon of Caribbean green seasoning. Just gonna hit that a little mixy mix like this, yeah. And my dad worked, if you know Trinidad and Tobago and you know the Point Lisas Industrial Estate, my dad worked building the original steel mill, which is ISCOT, the Iron and Steel Company of Trinidad and Tobago, and the first and the second methanol plants, along with other things. Long shifts, really long shifts. All I'm doing, I added water in there, so that's about 3/4 cups of water. Very long shifts. I'm just giving that a good mix, which meant that sometimes you work till 4 o'clock in the morning. It depends on when the concrete trucks would come. He was a mason, and it was his, well, along with his co-workers, their job to lay the foundation and to build the structure and everything else of those mega projects that Trinidad and Tobago had back in the 80s into the 90s, I think maybe in the 80s. Part of the deal, well, I shouldn't say deal, it's part of the package, the benefit package that they had. It's nice and warm now, so I'm going to add that slurry in there. And we're going to cook that out until it's nice and dry and we can see the oil that we started with. This is going to cook out the rawness of the curry, and this is the base here where all that nice things is going to happen. As that happens in there, I have some roasted jeera, which has been ground, some ground roasted jeera. Hit that a little mixy mix. And jeera is basically cumin, yeah? Roasted cumin. But part of the benefit package, working for Kajima Corporation and my dad and his co-workers, was they were entitled to meals. So anytime after the normal shift, which would be 6 p.m., they would get dinner, and then anything beyond 11 or 12, they would get another meal, which meant they ate a lot of fried chicken, because that was the only thing available for the company to go and buy for them. And back then it was KFC, famous recipe, chicken unlimited. Old school people will understand. If you're from Trinidad and Tobago, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm just turning up the heat to medium, how to burn off the liquid. So my dad used to come. My dad wasn't the biggest fan of fried chicken and KFC and stuff like that. To this day, he doesn't hate it, but he dislikes it because he says there's too much skin and batter and hardly any meat. So it's like, why waste time buying it, you know? But back in those days, yo, I swear the man would come home with boxes and boxes, because whatever they over-ordered, and my dad would bring home, so 3-4 o'clock in the morning, he would bring home this KFC or Chicken Unlimited or famous recipe. And myself and my siblings, we absolutely hated fleshy meat, which is chicken breast. And my mom, old school Caribbean lady, she hated with a passion. She will never waste food. So the only way for us to get us to eat the fleshy part, the chicken breast or chicken chest, as they used to say in Trinidad and Tobago, was to find a way to use the chicken breast. So this is the sort of recipe my mom came up with, and she would serve it with hot sada roti. And basically all it is curry potato or curry aloo, as we would say, with KFC. And you know, I have here, I bought it the other night. I'm not the biggest fan, very rare do I ever buy it. These are all the chicken breast parts. So I'm going back to being a kid. The ones that's a little bit big, I'm going to cut in half. But for the most part, because we had so much in the fridge, man, yo, this was a regular meal for us. Curiosity got you to click on the title, yeah? Now you know the story behind it. So rather than post any sort of hateful comments and talk about it disgusting and stuff like that, 1, give it a try. 2, you'll be disrespecting my mom. Yeah. Huh. You'll get banned. You'll get banned from the channel, I guarantee you. So save the hateful comments or the stupidity ones. You know what I mean? The one that is just dense in stupidity. All we're trying to do now is get the oils to start back showing up. We're toasting it now, getting it nice and fragrant. And I have here 5 medium potato cut up into somewhat big pieces. They will melt down as they cook, and I only have it in water simply because I don't want it to discolor. It took about 5 minutes for us to get to that sort of thick consistency, that paste-like consistency. The onion and the garlic is nice and fragrant now. I'm gonna go in with the potato, and I don't need the water in there, so excuse me for a second. I'm just gonna toss all that potato in there. And if you guys are wondering about the pot, I know there will be a lot of questions. Chris, where? Chris. Uncle Chris got a lift. I'm not making fun of. Oh God, I'm gonna get in trouble. My apologies if you speak with a lisp, yes. Anyhow, the pot came from Costco, and right now they have a sale. And what I like about this pot, the ones that they gave me there, it comes with the sort of silicone handle, so Uncle Chris ain't burning his hand. You know what I mean? All I'm doing is coating the pieces of potato with that lovely curry base that we created there. And while that fun happens, we're gonna hit that a bit of salt. I'm not gonna go too heavy because I find that like KFC and all those different types of fried chicken is usually loaded in sodium, so I'm not trying to kill myself with all kind of high blood pressure and all that. And the pots, well, the saucepan, 2 of them. This one's a little bit smaller, nice. You know, you got a good depth to it. This one has a better depth to it. It doesn't come with a cover, but again, it comes with the silicone handle as well too. So if you're interested, head over, and you're based in Canada. I'm sure Costco in the USA probably have it on sale at the same time too. I believe it's just like $50 or something like that. There's a $20 coupon, so head over there. And beautiful colors. There's a blue, there's a red, there's a green, I think. So it's been a couple minutes now since we added the potato. I'm just going to hit that a little scrape. We're going to go in with water because we need water to braise this. I'm going to add some more water because obviously that is not enough water, because not only do we need to braise or cook or get the potatoes soft to the point where they're disintegrating in the pot there, and we also need that thick, nice gravy for us to eat our sada roti. And you know, it goes good with rice as well. It's just that this was our breakfast dish. You know, Daddy come home 3 or 4 o'clock, yo, and the man would go back to work for 7, 8 o'clock again. But I don't know how he did it. But you know, you got 4 kids in high school in Trinidad and Tobago. Yo, the booklets alone, you're thousands of dollars. Plus we had to use taxi to go to work, which was paid shared taxi. So transport and all that, man, between him and mom, I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and here we are today, all educated and doing the thing. I'm gonna put some more water in there. I'm gonna allow it to go on a rolling boil until the potato are nice and tender, and then we'll continue. It's been going on that rolling boil for about 20 minutes. I did have to add some more water, so all I want to make sure is that there's enough water to cover it. The potatoes are tender, so what we need to do here at this point is I'm gonna add all of the pieces of KFC. Yeah, it's all chicken breast. With the batter and everything, that batter is gonna soak up that curry, and you're gonna thank me, you know. I really hope you guys brave enough to give this one a chance, you know. It is probably a bit strange, but I'm telling you, boy, this thing here hits home like no tomorrow. It takes me back to being a little fella on the islands. Gonna hit that with a little bit of chopped shadow benny. If you don't have shadow benny is really culantro. If you don't have culantro or shadow benny, cilantro will work, or you can keep it out. Some people just don't like the taste anymore. Well, the taste of cilantro. I don't, you know. I used to be a huge fan of it, but lately, not so much, man. I know what's going on. What I will also do here at the end, and this is what mommy would do, she would toss in some bird's eye pepper in there at the end, whole, because she didn't make it spicy for us. However, if somebody was eating and they wanted a little bit of kick, they would break into that pepper, and boom. At this point, we're also going to use the back of my spoon to crush some of the potato just to thicken up the gravy just a little bit. Try your best not to crush the bird's eye pepper. Now, earlier, if you wanted to add some Scotch bonnet pepper in there, I mean to say, yo, you rock it if spicy is your thing. And remember back in the day, she was cooking for her kids who we didn't like. I only started liking spicy food, really spicy foods, as I grew older, yeah? So I'm just gonna tuck the pieces of chicken in there, boom, like that. Let that soak up some of that lovely curry goodness there. And I'm telling you, boy, brilliant things. We just have to give this about 3 more minutes and then proper things, yeah? Give it 1 more minute, taste it for salt, and then we will work on the thickness of the gravy, keeping in mind that as it cooks, as it cools, it will thicken up. Sup, soldiers? Listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me, email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, them butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irie? It's to the thickness that I like, so I'm just going to turn off the stove. Remember, this is a cast iron pot that's glazed, so the residual heat will be wicked as well too, yeah? Chris here, Caribbean Pot, not your typical recipe you would get from me. But this is something, like I said, Mommy hated wasting food of any kind. So this was her way of putting chicken breast. Again, it would have been KFC, it would have been famous recipe, Chicken Unlimited, to use. I do hope you get the opportunity to give this one a try. Taste it at the end here for salt, adjust it, and what can I say? Enjoy. Irie? Irie.